is how are we going to replace this? Just so we're all on the same page. Understand where you stand on the issue, but it's just the reality of the day and where we stand on the issue.
This is the reality.
Whose reality?
Yes.
You represent us.
I'm sorry.
It's not about you, it's about us.
We are. That is where we are, and we have been very clear on it. Very clear on it.
You are.
Just so everybody. Who yelled that out? Who yelled that out?
All of us.
All of you? What insurance do you think I have?
You don't have ours. You got the gold plated.
What is it? Because I saw a sign that says somehow we have government health care, government-run health care. Just so we're all on the same page, my health care is an Obamacare policy. That is one that is generally accepted, or most people in the postal service select the Obamacare policy that some of us. And I will tell you, what I have seen in our experience, just on those policies, we're seeing higher premiums, higher co-pays, higher deductibles, and coverage that is worse than what we had before. And I've heard that from thousands of folks across the nation. Premiums are going up, co-pays are going up, and deductibles are going forward. So there we are. So if the suggestion we go forward is whatever we have available to us in the replacement package, folks like everyone here should have access to that, I certainly find that to be. I think that's appropriate. If we have access to it, you should have access to it. So I would agree with that. Now, those are all going to be repealed as we go forward. So,
Are you okay with people dying because they can't get coverage? Are you?
Premiums are going up. People ages 45.
Protect the poor.
Premiums are going to go up.
so this is why healthcare, just so we're all aware where this is at, healthcare is not going to go away over the next 30 days in regards to an issue that we have to deal with in America. We are going to have to deal with healthcare even long term, because right now what's going forward is the repeal and replacement vehicle, then what Dr. Price is going to do in the health department, and then hopefully, once we get away from the repeal replacement, and obviously there's a lot of passion in this room, and there's a lot of folks that are adamant that they want to stick to this Affordable Care Act policy. Once we get away from that partisan rhetoric that we're starting to see out of Washington, my hope is that we can start having a conversation and find the common ground as Americans to solve the health care crisis in America. So, a lot of folks. Amen. Let's start that conversation now.
Yeah, it's like you reach out to us. You have to reach out to us about what we want, not what you want.
I'm here. I'm here. Yes. So tell me, do you want, what can we do together? That's why I'm here. I want to listen and I care. So what can we do? There are going to be issues we disagree on.
I understand.
You want to, if you support the Affordable Care Act, we're not going to agree on it. But what can we do to improve health care in America?
Not what you're doing.
The tax credit isn't enough.
She has a question.
Just so we're clear, I just want my record to be clear.
Tax credits aren't enough.
Single payer health care, so if that's where based on sources and voices I've heard from the So now the question is, what can we do beyond single payer health care? So the gentleman in the back suggested.
Why?
Why I don't support single payer?
Why don't you support it?
I will tell you why I don't support it. I believe single payer healthcare is giving government too much control.
That's what you're there for.
How healthcare is delivered in America. I don't believe that's the right policy for the future of this nation. When you can
Trump has too much control.
our government to that degree, that is very significant to it. And I understand you disagree. I got you. I hear you. I hear you. And I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being honest with you where I'm representing. So the gentleman had a suggestion. How can you make that healthcare affordable? Even in a single-payer healthcare system, you still have the cost of healthcare to deal with. Who said that? Negotiate drug prices. Let me let you know something. I support that. Can I get a clap out of you for that?
I'm so happy.
So we support opening up the competition to force pharmaceuticals and drug prices to engage in that conversation. So that's where we can find common ground, and that's what I'm here to try to do. So I appreciate that feedback.
They need regulations.
What is the rush? What is the rush?
Quiet down. What are you?
There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. What is the rush to implement Trump Care before the Congressional Budget Office has an
opportunity? Great question, and that's a question I raised when we got back to D.C. after the last town hall that we were there. We voted on it in committee, okay? So where we are going to the floor in about 2 weeks, the score will be finished. So what was given us an assurance from the Congressional Budget Office, which is the agency that does the scoring that you're referring to, is by the time it gets to the floor, they will have the score out. I anticipate, sources tell us, or people we talk to in D.C., that the score will probably come out early next week, like Monday, even as early as tomorrow.
But why did
So
you
we
go
will have a
forward?
full
Why did you
score.
go forward?
We will have a full score on the bill in the floor. Why do we vote for it in committee? Because this is the process of legislating. So work being done in the committee is not the final product. What we voted on in the committee in Ways and Means was just a piece of the entire legislation, because you had committee work being done in Energy and Commerce, which is another committee in Washington, D.C. And you had another committee in Education that was working on another piece of it. So all of these pieces are moving through the process.
Without data.
So one of the reasons why I did support the committee action on the work, because we knew we were going to have more of these town halls. So this gives us an opportunity to come back. You have seen the legislation now. People have read the legislation. So now, as you look at it, we have this open and continuous dialogue over the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So, I hear that you disagree with that legislation. I hear it, loud and clear. But I am here to tell you that we are going to move forward.
CBO says more people will lose their insurance. Will you come out against your legislation?
I'm sorry?
If the CBO says that more people will lose their insurance under your program,
Well,
will you
that
come
is
out against
that is something that I anticipate with the CBO coming out and saying, just so we're clear. Because I will tell you why. I will tell you why, because it's very easy for the CBO to come out and say that, because under the Affordable Care Act, you mandate insurance coverage. We don't mandate insurance coverage. We give people choice, and so
That breaks the system.
So I'm anticipating that negative number, but we'll take the whole score into consideration as we go forward with the process.
You're anti-choice.
How do you keep the deductibles down and lower prices?
Save our
Healthcare. Save our healthcare. Save our healthcare. Save our healthcare. Save our healthcare. save our health care.
Another issue that people wanted to discuss regarding health care was the funding of Planned Parenthood. Dr. Dresser, as local resident, wanted to ask a question.
I'm Dave Dresser, former supervisor of the town of Ovid, and I have a series of questions that I won't get to today, but on three major topics, which I consider to be the uppermost priorities for our Congress, our country, and our world. And they are, first of all, global warming. Secondly, overpopulation. And thirdly, debt, specifically the national debt. The question I would like to ask you, Tom, relates to the Affordable Care Act and its possible repeal. It goes as this. Given the passage of the Hyde Amendment, no abortions are now paid for by government funds. And given the fact that Planned Parenthood actually prevents abortions by providing... By providing access to birth control, do you support the defunding of Planned Parenthood as proposed in the Republican plan to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act?
Dave, yes.
For health care, but you don't like it for people with a pregnancy.
You don't want to take care of the babies once they're born.
In Washington, where we can find common ground.
In Washington.
And here also. So when it comes to things like contraception, one of the things I'm advocating for and support legislation to allow things like over-the-counter sale of birth control. I support more access to contraceptive measures, and so we're going to continue to work on those fronts because I believe that's reasonable and a smart policy. But when it comes to Planned Parenthood, and I understand the Hyde Amendment, I'm just telling you where we have been very clear on our record. We have been very clear on our record, and we are committed to that principle as we go forward. That is your right. We encourage people. That is the right of democracy. So I appreciate that.
You don't want to
Just
take care of the children
we don't
once
have an
they're
agreement
born.
doesn't mean we cannot continue to have the conversation and work together.
Good point. Yes.
School lunches. Health care for children. Inner cities.
So the criticism of not listening, and I hear what you're saying, but I represent 717,000 people. Just because one of the things I try to do as an elected official is try to listen to that silent voice. And I will tell you, the voice is very loud. I understand. But what we are listening to is the overall voice of those 717,000 people. And what I would love to have a conversation with all too, and I appreciate the language of this. We are all passionate about this.
Why don't you listen to the voice you can hear first?
We're always trying to listen to everyone. And that's why you all have the right to speak here today.
Do you hear the silent poor?
You may not get
The
rehired.
next topic we're going to move on to, a lot of people had questions related to whether or not Trump has ties to Russia, Trump's tax returns. Scott from Newfield wanted to know if you were going to support an independent investigation. So there's a variety of questions here on that topic, so we'll move on to that.
All right, so there were some questions about Russia. What was the other? Independent investigation. Okay. Well, let's start where we are and what we do support. And where it goes is, to me, unknown right now. We, at the last set of town halls, this issue came up about Russia. We took that voice back to Washington, and I personally talked to Devin Nunes, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, on the U.S. House. The assurance was given that the House Intelligence Committee, as well as the Senate Intelligence Committee, are doing their work to investigate this issue. Doesn't mean that that's the end of the process. That's the beginning of the process, and we will let the process go